80s car tech was pretty impressive 40 years ago, but nothing lasts forever. So we're going to replace this old onboard computer with something a bit more modern you can build too. Now the first thing we'll need is a proper screen, which was a bit of a struggle for the smaller opening. But then we found one of these, and it's an LCD screen from Adafruit, and it has 4 of these buttons which will be used to replicate some of the original features on our BMW onboard computer, like the time-lapse function. But none of this will work without a brain, and we decided to go with this mini computer, which is smaller than a credit card. So this is a Raspberry Pi Zero 2. And this thing has more processing power than the computer NASA used to send the first man to the moon. It has a micro HDMI, 2 micro USB ports, and it also has this header which will allow us to use the screen attached to it in a modular format. We can even add other modules to add even more functions beyond things like the time-lapse feature, clock, or even a temperature function. But first, the screen needs some work, so we fired up our butane soldering iron and soldered the header down to the LCD screen. For our mount design, we first measured the thickness of the faceplate, mounting holes, length, and overall width. For designing the part, we're using Shaper 3D with an iPad along with an Apple Pencil. Shaper 3D is by far one of the easiest CAD softwares to use, and we have an entire video showing you how to design custom car parts just like this. If you're enjoying the video, like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. We also have a free newsletter with tons more details, which will also be in the video description. And now that we have our prototype design all drafted up, we're going to send that over to our 3D printer and start printing a few prototypes. And here's the first prototype. Now it's just the faceplate, and we did this to make sure that the fitment of the board matches, which it does. And that means we have all of our dimensions correct, but more importantly, let's see how the dimensions fit on the actual frame. So here, this will go like so, and look at that fitment. I mean, it's nearly perfect, but we do need to make a few more tweaks. And the first tweak is we're gonna have to make the mounts here a much larger diameter. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna actually hollow that out. And then the other thing we need to do is we need to figure out how to get this board mounted into the screw holes of this here. So to get that hole, we're going to punch through using the extrusion, and then we drew the design for the clip, and then we can extrude it up and out. And then all we have to do is clone each one 3 times and move it to the appropriate position. Here we go. We've got all 4 mounts on our prototype. We have the holes instead of the little pegs there, and let's see how it fits. Okay, something isn't right. Let me see the other side. Okay, that's in there now, but I think I might have got the measurement wrong on this last one. So it looks like I have to drop it a little bit there. Shaper 3D makes that really easy. You can use the history function to do that. Now, I will warn you that you won't want to print the final part in PLA, because this type of filament, if sitting in the sun, in the dashboard, in your car, it will start to sag. All right, so here's the last prototype. And the fitment is perfect. Look at that. It's completely flush. And to prevent any sagging in the sunlight, we switched over to ASA filament, which is UV and heat resistant up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit. But it is recommended to print ASA inside an enclosed printer like the Bambu Lab X1C. Here you can see that the part came out perfect, even with supports which were needed to hold up the horizontal mounting points. Now for mounting the screen to the 3D print, we'll use these M2.5 by 4 brass screw threaded inserts. They can be heated up and inserted into the larger diameter holes with the soldering iron. The jagged edges help hold the part in place once the filament goes back to its regular temp. Take a look at that. Wow, that is amazing. So next up, we just have to get the board running. The directions are pretty easy to follow on Adafruit, but after you get past that, trying to do anything else is like falling into a black hole. But check this trick out. And here's where ChatGPT comes in. We asked it a question on how to set up the Wi-Fi before the Raspberry Pi boots off the SD card, and it gave us the instructions on which file to modify and exactly what to put in that file. And once that file is completed, we're good to go. Just starting with something very simple, I wanted to see if we could play a looping video on the LCD screen, and putting everything into ChatGPT gave me not only the command, but gave me the options to be able to just loop that video. Check that out. I mean, it's freaking awesome. The video was also created using one of Google AI integrations where I just typed in and told it to give me a BMW E30 drifting in a cyberpunk background, and that's what we ended up getting. So now that we have this going, I'm wondering if ChatGPT can give us all the code to create a menu as well as making the buttons work. And that's exactly what we asked it to do. And here it gave us a Python script with the whole file specified with the button presses. So I'm not sure if this is going to work. We'll go ahead and try to run that Python script, and it failed. So we went back to ChatGPT and asked it what the error message meant, and to my surprise, it actually told us what the error was and how we could potentially resolve it. So we took the recommendation, ran that particular command, and it looked like we had a specific module missing, which this command here downloads that module using our Wi-Fi connection and basically loads all of that up for us. So I think we're gonna be working. Take a look at this. That is the dashboard that it mocked up for us, and it has the button functions here. We can play our video on loop, so it runs that command that it initially gave us. So if we just want to cruise around and have a video playing on loop, you have that. You can depress it, and then you get back to the menu here. And then there's also the lap timer button. So if you hit that, this enables the time-lapse function, so you can time-lapse your track runs or on your track days. We also have a digital clock, and then we also have temperature indicator too, and we could stop that time-lapse, and there you go. So it's stopped, or actually it's paused, and I did have to tell ChatGPT to make small modifications to this, and you know, it did a pretty good job on giving me the updates. And I can also do this. So if I hold the button down, and then I release, it resets the time lapse. And then I asked it to add some different themes. So if we click this, we get a color shift on the grid in the background. I mean, this is just, this is mind-boggling. And then we do have the off button here. Just we hit that and it goes through the shutdown process for this. And we actually are going to add another module that can control the power based on whether it senses 12 volts or higher than 12 volts when the ignition starts. So if you're interested in a part 2 of this video with even more functionality, let us know in the comments. But if you're interested in learning how to design and 3D print your own parts, watch this video up next.